Are you wondering whether you can share Smartsheet with non-users? Well, in today's video, I'm going to be answering that question, and I'm going to start off by giving you some good news. You can. Now, it's very easy to do this, and you can do this in a variety of different ways, which I will now show you. So the first way is I've just created a project budget. It's from a template. So let's assume this is the sheet that I'd like to share with a non-user. So when I say non-user, that's somebody who doesn't have a license. So to do that, you can probably imagine where you need to click. There's a big button in the corner that says share. And at the moment, this isn't shared with anyone. So what you would then need to do is you would then need to enter their email address here. So you just put in their email address. So let's put it in as, bob123@gmail.com. Obviously, that might be a real person. I don't know. It is an example in this case. So you put in their email address here. And what will happen then when you click off is you'll see it's created almost a persona for Bob with a B there. It's picked up the first letter. And then what you need to do then is set their permissions. So do you want them to, be able to view, edit the sheet? What kind of permissions do you want them to have? Subject, that will essentially be, here you want to put something like, you've got an example, it's kind of pulled here automatically. So it's basically, letting them know what this is all about. And then you want to add a message. So something like, I've shared you to this sheet. It would be great if you could have a look, perhaps even start contributing. And then at the bottom here, you've got notify people. You obviously want that checked. If you don't check that, they will never get the email, and they'll unlikely, unless you share the URL with them specifically, they'll unlikely not be aware that they've been shared. And CC, I always recommend that as well, just so you know if the notification's been sent and you can see what it looks like. So you can enter multiple collaborators here, multiple non-users if you wanted, and then you'd press share sheet. And what will happen is within a couple of minutes, that whoever owns that email address will get an email, and it will basically say you have been shared to this sheet, and they'll have a big button that says open up, and then they can go in here and they can start editing. Now, one thing I would mention is when they first click the link as a non-user, the first thing they'll need to do is set a password, and essentially what they will be doing at that moment in time is creating an account. So it will be a free account, there'll be no charge applied, but they will have limited functionality on what they can do. They can edit the sheets, they can add data, but they can't do things like add columns and things like that because that's a limitation on a free user. They could sign up for an account, a permanent account, and upgrade to a license. That is something they can do, but by default, they will be a free user. But they can use Smartsheet in various different ways. So they can, as I say, enter data and just use the basic functionality. So that's how you'd share a sheet. Now, the other way is if you wanted to share a workspace. So a workspace is essentially, imagine it as like a folder on your computer, and that could contain various different sheets. So to do that, you would simply open up the workspace. I've got a test one here, and then you click the share button up here, and you do exactly the same thing, run through the same process, and then that non-user of Smartsheet would get a similar link. They'd open it up, create their account, and they can start to do start editing sheets and use the basic functionality of Smartsheet. But as I say, non-users can use Smartsheet, but they are limited with what they can do until they upgrade to a paid license. So I hope this video was useful. If it was, please do hit the like button. That tells me I should continue making videos like this. And do consider subscribing to my channel. Maybe check out some of my other Smartsheet training videos if you have any questions. And with that said, I hope you have an excellent day.